Well, the initial inspiration for this and what awakened this desire to work with biochar came actually almost exactly 10 years ago when after a career in corporate life, building up companies internationally, specifically in Brazil, I saw what our consumer culture was doing to nature and to people's lives. And I decided I just didn't want to be a part of the problem anymore. I didn't know if I could contribute to a solution necessarily, but I just didn't want to be part of the problem. And that took me on a journey beginning with planting trees on an organic coffee farm in Brazil. And this is where I ran into biochar, or terra preta as it's called. So this terra preta do Índio, the Indian black soil discovered in the Amazon basin roughly 100 years ago, is what we are developing. We're developing this technology developed by these Indians. And it's been a very interesting road. It's been a very interesting journey. Here on Mallorca, I've been doing workshops for the past 5 years with different cities, independent groups and individuals. And Circle Carbon is something that was born almost 2 years ago. And here at the Circle Carbon Labs, we've been developing this for 1 year. It's 1 year of 10 years after a journey of discovery and awe at the possibilities that biochar offers for soil, for air, and for most of all for people. Soil is the basis of all life on Earth. Soil gives us our food, our shelter. Soil is where we grow things. And it's everything. Everything is based on soil. And yet, we're degrading the equivalent of 10 million hectares per year around the world. That's the same size as Portugal, that we're losing in fertile soil to feed the planet. This can't go on. So we have to change the way we do agriculture. And one of the key elements in doing this has been discovered to be biochar. Biochar is something that was discovered first in the Amazon basin. The Indians of the Amazon have been using this technology for 8,000 years. And now it's being reinvented. And we're applying this biochar together with compost to add it to the soils. So when you make biochar, you're already sequestering carbon to the extent of, for every ton of biochar being made, you're sequestering almost 4 tons of CO2. And here at Circle Carbon Labs, we have the capacity to sequester up to 6 tons of CO2 carbon dioxide per day. And what we do with that, we make the biochar, we grind it, we mix it with compost, and then we let this cure. It's a process that takes months. And once we have this wonderful, lush, living, dark earth, this beautiful dark earth, we apply it to soils. And this is sequestering carbon by its application, because biochar is permanent. It doesn't decompose as compost does. And of course, it gives the homes for the microorganisms. So we're getting all these amazing cavities that are becoming available to the microorganisms, which is the life of the soil. So if we go through the process, we get biomass delivered, the feedstock for our Contiki kilns. The Contiki kiln is a pyrolysis reactor kiln, so it burns on extremely low levels of oxygen. And once those trucks arrive, we unload them here, we separate the feedstock, we let it dry, we prepare it for the kiln to have a maximum efficiency in the kiln. Then after the feedstock has been burned in the biochar kiln, the Contiki, it has to be quenched. And after the quenching, the next day usually, we empty it for drying. And after it's dried for a few days, we start to grind it. And it's this grinding process that maximizes the surface area for the microorganisms of the biochar. Once it's been ground up, we mix it in a composting process, which takes between 3 and 6 months. And once it's composted, all those microorganisms have moved into their homes, into these cavities in the biochar, and they can start their work in the soil. And that's what we look forward to spreading out over the island, and for individuals, farmers, and other initiatives that involve regenerating the soil. And to do that, of course, we understand that this is a new technology. It's not so commonly known. So at Circle Carbon Labs, we want to have ways of showing how this actually works. So we have demonstration gardens where we show different trees, different plants, different kitchen gardens, how this works. And we also have production gardens. So we're growing moringa, a superfood, as well as developing community gardens, which is going to be developing. So we have the production on the one hand of the biochar with the compost. We have the demonstration gardens to show what it does. We have demo gardens, production gardens, and then for the general public, community gardens. So each person can experience for themselves what this means.